We're very excited about the next part of our program, our panel of young adults. We all know that the challenges faced by young children with an autism diagnosis, but we're also acutely aware of the rapidly growing number of young people who are coming into adulthood. The challenges are different. There's a great need to support our young people in a variety of ways so they can continue their education or take on other training, seek meaningful employment, and find their way. That's why we created the Manual for Transitioning to Adulthood, and that's why our resource fair today is focused on programs and services for transition-age youth. Our panelists today are 3 terrific young adults, and they've agreed to share their stories, their choices, successes, and challenges. The conversation will be led by Shari King, who's our program manager for family support and the autism program at Boston Medical Center. Please join me in a warm welcome for Shari, Kush, Darcie, and Mike.
I want to first start by saying what a fun group this has been to work with already, and I want to personally thank you for spending the time that you have with me. We recently agreed that we're all friends. I think I'm cool enough to be friends. And we're going to be hanging out after this is all said and done. But thank you for taking time out of your schedules. These guys are very busy, as you'll get to hear, and to share some of your experience with us. So I hope that we could start by each of you introducing yourself. By that I mean share your name, your age, where you grew up, and just a little bit about what you're currently doing. And we can just go right in a row.
Hello, my name is Michael Mays. I am 23 years old. I'm from Marshall, Massachusetts. I just graduated in May actually, at a small college called Mitchell College. It's in New London, Connecticut. I study sports management and it's a bachelor's degree. And right now I am serving, I have to get this right, hold on for a second, serving with the Bain and Company team at the Hennigan Elementary School.
Hi, I'm Kush Baghat. I'm a sophomore at the University of Massachusetts level. I'm studying civil engineering from Wayland, Massachusetts. And yeah, that's just about it.
Hi, my name is Darcie, and I'm from Stoughton, and I'm 19 years old, and I'm at the Leslie Threshold program, and I'm doing an internship in child care where I'm working at North Cambridge Community Child Care Center in the toddler room.
Great. So I wanted first to talk about your college programs that you all chose. What led you to choose them, and anything that's been particularly successful for you or was particularly successful for you while you were there? Maybe let's start with you, Mike, though I know you're a recent graduate. Congrats on that.
Thank you. The reason why I chose my school, Mitchell College, is because they have one of the best autism or learning disability college where you can just be confident in yourself and you can just go in, and there's a lot of people with learning disabilities, physical disabilities. I was tired of getting judged by people. They made fun of me, they bullied me just because I had learning disabilities. So I made that change to go to a school with people with disabilities, and now I have 7 best friends that all have disabilities, and I loved my college experience. It was amazing.
I chose UMass Lowell because they gave me a great acceptance package. They gave me a great scholarship.
Dad's in the audience here. He probably agrees.
And they guaranteed me an internship right after my freshman year to get me started and working in the field that I'm interested in. And more importantly, they I had met with Disability Services there to see what they could actually provide me with. So they could give me extended time on tests and note takers or a smart pen. So I really made sure that they could accommodate me.
That's great. And was it your idea to go through the Disability Services Office? Were you encouraged by your parents?
It was both, but I felt that if I didn't use those supports, I wouldn't be my fullest self.
Darcie, what made you choose the Threshold program?
I chose Threshold because I couldn't really do the work in other colleges, and I really liked the school when I went there because they said there was the program, like, I forget.
Like the Living Skills program?
Yes, it was what I needed because I didn't get that in high school, and I didn't really have much of a social life, but now I do, and now I feel like I have a family at school.
Her mom is also here, and maybe she doesn't want me to say, but you were out till 4 in the morning, I think, last night.
No.
No.
I was not.
It's great to hear that that school has been so great, so good to all of you. Could we talk about friendships? You hinted on this topic, some of you. I wonder what it's been like for you to form friendships now as compared to when you were younger. And maybe could you speak about how you handle disclosing your diagnosis, if that comes up, and how you think about it or choose to do it?
It was easier for me because I'm very confident in myself, and honestly, I don't care what people say. So I am very confident, I'm proud of who I am, and no one can change who I am.
High five. Yeah.
I have to say, for me, it became a lot easier to create friendships as I got older because naturally we all accept differences as we learn more and as we're older. But I felt now that I'm comfortable enough with my diagnosis that I'm able to share it with anyone pretty much at any time and not make a big deal out of it because it isn't a big deal.
So awesome.
I feel like I have more in common with the people I go to school with because everyone in my program has like a learning disability of some sort, and it just feels nice to not be judged.
That's great. And you've shared with me, yeah, go ahead, give her. You shared with me, and I don't know if this is a girl thing or not, but that your friends, that you guys talk about that. You've talked about some of your struggles with each other.
Because we feel comfortable talking about our problems, and we don't worry about like being judged by anybody. So it's nice.
That's great. I'm so glad to hear that. Let's switch gears a little bit. You've all had some work experience or internship experience. Could you share a bit about some of those experiences and how they've been for you? We can switch it around. You want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first. Well, at home, I work with dogs at a dog boarder, and I was never really good on the phone, never really learned the debit, credit card machine thing. So on my training, when I went there, the boss was like, oh, it's okay, you'll be fine, it takes a long time. So she taught me how to do it, and then I kind of had to help myself on the phone a little bit to like force myself because it's part of the job and everyone has to do it. And at school, I have a internship with kids, and I've never really had experience working with kids. But I know a few little kids, like in my neighborhood. I had a few little kid cousins, but I never really worked in like a daycare. So gaining that experience is really good for me.
And does your program support your learning? Where you didn't have formal experience before, do you have assistance with knowing what to do?
Yes, and it's a really good experience.
Kush, how about for you?
As I said, with my acceptance package, I had an internship, and I really enjoyed being able to go straight into the workforce, and I could get to know what a working environment is like. I was at the Natick Soldier Research Development and Engineering Center, and I was working with a team of materials engineers working on cutting edge stuff for the Army, and that's what I really loved, that I wasn't really anyone's like assistant. They said, here's your project, now go get the results, analyze them. Yeah.
That's wonderful. You had kind of a fun experience that happened during your course this summer. You want to share about that?
Yes. There was one day that I was at the labs a little late, and some warfighters or soldiers were coming in, and they were touring the facilities, and they asked me what I was doing, and it was really an amazing experience to see the people that I was actually doing all this work for, and just having them thank me and all of that.
That's great. And if I remember correctly, you were by yourself, so they came in and you're like, well, I guess I'll show you around.
Yeah.
That was great. Mike, tell us about your experiences. I know one of your former bosses is in the room who can give a little wave to us. Lisa. Big crowd. Who knows? There she is. Way in the back. Okay, go ahead.
My first job, I was a baseball coach at South Shore Baseball Club in Hingham, Massachusetts. I coached 4 to 7-year-old kids. It was amazing because especially the 4-year-olds, they're trying to catch the ball like this, and I'll be like, no, you can't catch the ball like this. The ball's hitting you right in the face. So I took baby steps with them, and that job really taught me like patience. And then after that, I did this unbelievable internship at the Flutie Foundation. It blew me away. I did a lot of data, and I did a lot of events, basketball event, and a golf event, and I actually spoke at one of their golf events. And at the basketball event, I played basketball with a former NBA player. Like, how many people can say that? This guy was just shooting baskets. He was just swishing the ball like 13 and 14 times in a row. I'm just like, who is this guy? Are you kidding? And I'm like, okay, man, I'm going to get your rebounds for you. And he looks at me, and he keeps on just making them like it's no big deal. And I look at him like, what's your name? He's like, oh, my name's Travis. I'm like, you're Travis Best. You play in the NBA? And he's like, yeah. I'm just like, I remember you when I was a kid. I was like, how old are you, kid? I'm like, 21. He's like, man, I feel old. And now I am a City Year Corps member. I can't say it's a job, it's a service. And I serve at a 4th grade classroom. And sometimes it's very difficult, but I love my job. It is one of the best jobs I could have asked for. The leadership, I work with 12 other Corps members, and it's just incredible. All of us have the same mission, help kids, and it's just a great job.
And you've applied some of your social learning, social thinking methods to your classroom experiences, right?
Yes, I also did a job for Amy Gordon at Second Nature Social Skills, which is I would help kids with learning disabilities how to help communicate, and so I use words like expected and unexpected to my kids, and I would go up to the kid and be like, what's that expected or unexpected you just did? And they'll just be like, unexpected. I'm just like, why? And then they'll look at me like, well, I can't throw a paper airplane across the room. I'm like, exactly.
Good for you. You're also incredibly impressive, and I wondered what some of the challenges have been that you've had to overcome in your lives to get to where you are. Maybe even some of the specific supports that helped you with that, whether it be a person or a program or an experience.
You start first.
All right. I found that it was mostly teachers that helped me along the way, and they helped me. They helped me to realize that I had potential and that I could really make something of myself. And then I also had the psychologist and psychiatrist that I was seeing that helped me with the little things, like, someone storms out of the room, they're angry, and you get that a little bit from school as well, and so helped me recognize a little bit more about the emotional and social aspects of living, and that was something that a lot of people on the spectrum have difficulty with. So, yeah.
How to read cues you've talked about now. I think you shared that it's polite to just ask somebody how they're doing.
Yes.
Even if you don't really care.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
We all do that.
Yeah.
That's great. Darcie, how about you?
I had a really hard time in high school, but I took this class. It was an acting class, and it got me out of my shell a lot because I was really nervous to talk. So this class helped me because we had to do a presentation like every other week, and we had to talk in front of the class, so that got me out of my shell. And I also had this really, really, really good speech pathologist, which I have to thank my mom for getting him for me. So thank you, Mom. She's in the room right now. But yeah, he really got me out of my shell, taught me like how to ask back, be tactful, a lot of skills that I didn't know, and that got me to be really confident in myself and how to talk to people. So,
how old were you during that time?
It was through high school.
That's great. It's good for you for challenging yourself with the drama.
At first, I didn't want to see the guy, but then I kind of had to because I knew it was going to help me. So.
Good for you. Mike, how about you?
Uh,
The question was challenges you've faced and how you overcome them.
For me, I had a very different experience. I got people that judged me a lot and bullied me, so I found people that believed in me, especially my mom and my dad. If it weren't for them, I probably wouldn't be up here, to be honest. Let's see. My guidance counselor, Dan Carlin, I say his name everywhere. He was amazing. Every time I got bullied, or I felt like I got bullied, I would get a free hall pass to just go up to him, and I would just vent to him and like, I would say like a bunch of bleep words, and finally my track coach, Ryan Wagner, he was really tough. He was a Marine. He would be like it's my way or the highway, and if one person made a mistake in school, he would make the whole team do like a whole bunch of push-ups and a bunch of Marine crawls in the gym. And looking back at it, like he made me like a tougher person, and I can like get through anything. So.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. When you look back on the experience of bullying, is there anything that you learned about yourself out of it?
The fact I'm strong and I can get through almost anything, and I don't care what people say, because in high school I used to because as you guys know, in high school, like you want to fit in and be like the cool person and try to talk to the popular kids and be popular, and like after high school I didn't care. Like I didn't care what people said about me anymore, so.
Great. How about for you guys? I know you mentioned some issues, that you had also been teased or, bullied, or kids not being particularly nice. Anything you can share about sort of what you took away from those experiences or how you look back on them now?
I know how to ignore people.
Good.
And I don't listen to what people say because it doesn't matter. Because I believe in myself now.
I'd say pretty much the same thing, that at this point, I can look back and say, it's not my fault. I didn't cause this against myself. And those people, they just didn't understand. And that's for them to deal with, not for me to deal with.
These are good. These are good messages, and I think there would be a lot of young people going through it who would be helped to hear them. So to hear that, is there anything that people have said, or that people have said about you, either to you or about you, that turned out to not be true? Curveball question. Yes.
I forget.
I also forget.
For me, it was I couldn't graduate high school or college, and it felt good, especially when I graduated college. I said, I proved you and everyone else wrong, so it felt great.
And that you're teaching at Harvard Medical School today is pretty darn awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool. No biggie.
What's one piece of advice that you would give to another teen who is approaching the transition to adulthood? Kush?
I would say that in high school or wherever you are at this point, you need to take your supports, use them, because don't shy away from them, because this is what's going to help you, and it's going to help you become your fullest self. I, at some points in high school, tried to kind of deny my services, and I tried to do everything on my own, and I couldn't do it. And it was an important message for me that, yes, I have certain issues, but I have a great team of people that can help me, and I should use that.
That's good. That's good. And that it's harder to get services back once you
Yes, you always vie for as many services as you can, because you can't get them back.
How about for either of you? What's advice you would give to another teen, young adult?
Mike can go first.
No, you go first. You're the teenager, not me. I'm an old man.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. What's a piece of advice that you would give to another teen as they're approaching the transition time, leaving high school and making decisions?
Keep your options open. Believe in yourself. Don't care what people say about you. Just be you. Be spontaneous. Be outgoing. You're gonna make changes in this world.
Oh.
Yes. Well, what I would say is find your strength, find what you love to do, and once you find that, go for it.
Great. That's great advice. How about advice to parents? Butt out.
I'd say, as most parents probably are, be there for your kids and listen. Be there. You don't necessarily have to be there and recommending every little thing and saying, do this, do that. The best thing is to listen to the problems and try to work them out together, not work your child's problems out for them.
That's great. That's great. Did you participate in your IEP meetings?
Yes, I did.
And how did you find that experience to be?
I really, really appreciated being a part of my IEP meetings, because that helped me see where everyone else thinks I'm at, where it helped me gauge where I am at and where I need to be.
Okay, advice for parents. Mike or Darcie? Darcie?
Believe in your kids. Don't tell your kids what to do every single minute. Just be happy for your kids. They can do miracles.
I guess for me, my mom had a difficult time kind of backing off, but now she has. Sorry, Mom. But honestly, just back off your kids a little bit and just let them follow their dreams, and no matter what they like to do, just let them do it.
It's good. It's a hard balance to find as a parent, but an important one. to remember. Just a couple of things. I'd want you to raise your hand if this is relevant to you. If you drive a car, okay, if you'd like to drive a car. If you live on your own, and that means in a dorm without your parents. If you'd like to live on your own someday. Or continue living.
Wait, in which way?
Sorry?
In which way?
Which way? Like live in an apartment or someplace
yes,
without your
yes.
parents? Okay, yeah, everybody. Good. Sorry. Have been in a romantic relationship?
I'm currently in one.
Who could deny that? Or would like to be in a romantic relationship? You think about it long and hard, Darcie. How many of you would like to be married someday? How many of you know the field you want to work in or the job you'd want to have? Yeah, very good, very determined. So we decided we would save some time for questions from the group. And I have no idea what time it is actually, so hopefully we have time for a couple questions, so, or time for you to ask questions of each other if you have any.
I wanted to say thank you to each one of you. You're very brave, you're very inspirational, and you have made every parent in the room's heart fill with hope. I have a question for you, and I'm wondering what you would say to a young teen who hates his diagnosis, doesn't accept it, and if any of you experienced that, and what advice you would give to him.
I actually did experience that when I was younger because I was actually born in the 90s, so unfortunately, when I was very little, not that many people knew what a diagnosis of autism was. So by elementary school, I was kind of ashamed of myself because I thought I was a loser. Because everyone looked at me like I was weird, and I was like, why are people looking at me? This is so weird. So I would literally hide or try to hide and run away. So honestly, now I would say just be proud and just doesn't matter who you are. That's what I would say.
Did either of you want to respond to that?
I would say the same thing.
Yeah, I would say pretty much the same thing, but just elaborate a little bit and say that I think it's really beneficial to understand your diagnosis and not think of it as a diagnosis. Think of it as a way to help understand what your problems are, and I shouldn't say problems. What I mean is what things you have difficulty with, and look at it that way versus looking at it as a diagnosis or as a label.
So to use it as a form of kind of empowering yourself.
Yeah, empowering yourself to work harder at certain things.
Any other questions? Yeah.
I'm a parent of a young child who was just diagnosed. He's 3 years old. And I was wondering, did you guys always feel, or do you remember ever feeling different, or when your parents talked to you about your diagnosis? Yes, and
Quadruple yes. As I said, in elementary school, my third grade classroom, I was in my classroom and I raised my hand, and I will never forget this. People just looked at me, and I just felt like a vibe that I was different from them just because I had a disability. I didn't know I had a disability then. I was crying. I was like, what's going on? How come people look at me like I'm weird? And my mom was like, well, you have autism. And so I didn't know what autism was, but now I do. And I can't change for who I am, so.
How did you come to learn what autism meant, or back then, how did you learn about it?
My mom actually taught me what autism is and how they diagnosed me when I was actually lucky because I got diagnosed when I was a very small baby. So I was one of the lucky ones.
Thank you. You guys are very inspirational.
You're welcome.
Well, do we have time for one more? Do you have yeah, we have time for one more.
Hi, my son is 13 and he's on the spectrum, and he's got a lot of advantages and he's got a lot of challenges. And first I just want to say to you guys that you perhaps feel like you're just getting started in life and you've got your whole life ahead of you. And from my point of view, you're already there. You've already succeeded. If my son could be as articulate and as likable as you guys are at your ages, I'd be thrilled. I'm wondering if you can help give us a little sense about where you've come from, and maybe pick an age, when you were 10 or 13 or 16 or something, and maybe just give us a little bit of what you were like at that time. You don't have to talk about your challenges, or maybe it was just what you liked to do, or who you were when you were a little bit younger, and give us a sense about where you've come to from that point.
I would say that when I was in, I think, 5th grade or so, I would mostly only talk to adults because all the other children wouldn't talk to me as much, and they didn't understand me. And my friends were the teachers at the school, and I would say that kind of defined me. That I was at the time that I wasn't able to interact with a lot of the other students, and I would make weird noises, or I would take things too literally. I found that was a lot of what I was facing at that time.
Okay. In 5th grade, I was really quiet, really nervous of what people thought about me, and I didn't really fit in with all the other kids. Like, they would go off in their groups, and I'd just be there, like, by myself.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be either a baseball player or a football player, especially baseball. When I was younger, I used to do impressions of Nomar Garcia Parra. Every time I would get up, I would do the glove thing, I would do the foot tap. Used to drive the umpire nuts. He would be like, "Hurry up, kid. Hurry up, stop doing the Nomar thing." I'm like, "No, never." But that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to play for the Boston Red Sox. I wanted to be be the closer and just shut them down. But that's just me.
So it's been a good year for you, I guess.
I would have been like Coach Uhara, shutting them down.
Well, I just, again, want to reiterate everything that folks have said, and thank you for being with us today. It's been wonderful, and you've been, you've been able to give us these piece of yourself that I think has inspired our crowd. So thank you, and maybe if people wanted to approach you during the break, would you be comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, thank you very much.